Look closely at this bark. It is thick, weathered, and fractured, like an ancient pine that has stood on a mountain peak for centuries. But if we pull back, you will see this entire tree fits perfectly in the palm of a human hand. The Japanese word bonsai translates to planted in a pot. These are not genetically dwarfed plants. They are normal trees kept miniature through consistent human intervention. We live in a society built on instant gratification. We expect immediate feedback, next day shipping, and a constant high-speed loop of digital information. Cultivating a miniature tree forces you to step entirely outside of that loop. It requires a surrender to natural time, measuring progress in seasons and decades rather than minutes and days. This makes bonsai a fascinating anomaly. It is a quiet act of rebellion against modern rushing, a discipline where time serves as the primary artistic medium. The practice began over 1,000 years ago in China as penjing. Taoist monks cultivated miniature trees in shallow clay trays, attempting to capture the essential energy of vast mountain landscapes. When the practice crossed the sea to Japan, it merged with Zen Buddhism. The focus shifted toward extreme minimalism, turning the cultivation of the tree into a form of active meditation. This meditation involves a surprising amount of physical destruction. To keep the tree small, artists remove roots and branches using a specialized tool called a concave cutter. This animated diagram shows how the curved blades take a deep bite out of the trunk, leaving a sunken wound. Trees heal from the outside in using their cambium layer, filling the depression perfectly flush, leaving no scar. This physical pruning mirrors the Zen practice of pruning the mind. Practitioners are taught to shed harmful attachments and ego, stripping away the excess to reveal a pure, unburdened form. Artists do not just cut, they also guide. By wrapping branches in copper or aluminum wire, they dictate the trajectory of the wood over several years, gently bending the tree instead of forcing rapid growth. This wire serves a dual purpose. It positions the foliage and, more importantly, designs the specific pockets of empty air between the branches. The Japanese call this ma, the mastery of negative space. In this silhouette, bright white pockets of air act as structural elements. Curating this emptiness creates an illusion, suggesting the massive scale of a full-sized tree clinging to a canyon wall. Without those deliberate gaps, the miniature tree would look like a dense, chaotic bush. The visual silence is what gives the tree its voice. This appreciation for the rugged and the weathered is rooted in wabi-sabi, an aesthetic philosophy that finds beauty in imperfection and the passage of time. To capture this feeling, artists strip away bark to create jin, or deadwood. This visually mimics the scars of lightning strikes, or pruned winds, giving the young tree a battle-tested appearance. Sometimes, however, the survival is completely real. Take the legendary Yamaki pine, a nearly 400-year-old bonsai that lived through the 1945 atomic bombing of Hiroshima. Looking at this flattened landscape, it is hard to imagine anything making it through the blast. The tree sat less than 2 miles from the epicenter. It survived because it was shielded by a high protective wall in a family nursery, where generations of the Yamaki family had meticulously cared for it. This specific pine outlived its original creators and the horrors of war. In 1976, it was gifted to the United States, and today it continues to be watered and pruned by museum curators in Washington, D.C. A bonsai masterpiece is never truly finished. It operates as a living relay baton, passed down across centuries of caretakers. When you observe this process closely, the focus shifts. The practice shapes the plant, but it also creates a psychological impact on the human mind, an effect now studied in the field of eco-psychology. The slow, rhythmic routines of watering, pinching leaves, and watching reliably trigger a neurological flow state. This immersion shuts out digital distractions, reducing modern anxiety. It cultivates a practice of unselfish attention. Caretakers accept the humbling realization that they are pouring decades of meticulous labor into a living sculpture whose final form they will never live to see. As the artist bends and sculpts the miniature tree, the constraints of time and nature reciprocate, refining the practitioner's character.